Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you are watching this. My name is Timisan Ochabo, and I'm so glad and excited to be here. Welcome to our series, the 7 Day Professional Development series that started on Monday. And I'm super excited for all of the things that I'm going to be sharing with us today. Thank you, thank you. Again, my name is Timisan Ojabo. If you're if you're just watching, the founder of the Isaac Walks Academy. It's a 365-day academy that teaches people how to do incredible work. So please share this link with someone you know would want to be a part of this. I'm just checking to be sure that the audio is good. Okay, okay, great. I think our audio is fine. Watching well, our audio is fine. Thank you everybody for joining in. Please invite your friends and friends and friends. Today we're talking about how to work for a difficult boss without losing your mind. Yes, that's what we're talking about today. And it's going to be a great, great time. So please invite people you know who this will be beneficial to, and let's get cracking. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? We will be understanding what makes a difficult boss, the mindset shift that will protect your mental health, practical strategies that you can implement tomorrow at work, when to stay and when to walk away, um, and then how to maintain your integrity through it all. Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm just checking again just to be sure that all is well. The volume. I don't want to hear that we've recorded this for 40 minutes and 30 minutes and then it didn't work. So understanding the difficult boss. First, let us define who a difficult boss is, because it's not every boss who challenges you that is difficult. We need to draw that clarity, right? Now, a difficult boss, right? And again, before I said, I just said that it's not every boss that challenges you that is difficult, and it's not every correction, right? That means that your boss is out to get you. And I say this because a lot of us are quick to say, oh, toxic workplace, this is this. And meanwhile, all we have is just a boss who's driven by efficiency and excellence, and they demand that from us. And then they will have the crop of people that they're not really excellent. They just like to do work any type of way. And so when they have this boss that demands that, they tag that person as a difficult boss. So who is a typical difficult boss? Let's paint a picture of who this person is. This person is inconsistent. Their expectations are inconsistent. They keep moving the goalpost. For example, they tell you that if you do this, you get promoted. When you done it, they'll tell you that, oh, that's not what they said. They shift the goalpost again. You do it, they shift the goalpost again. You do it, they shift the goalpost again. So there's no where you can score. Every time there's always a moving part. There's always something you haven't done. There's always something you need to still do that you never do, right? So that is an example of a difficult boss. The next kind of difficult boss is the micromanager. Yes, the micromanager that stifles your autonomy. This kind of boss doesn't want you to do anything creative. If they are not agreeing to it, you cannot do it. They're not open to new ideas. It's just their way or the highway, right? A boss that poorly communicates. Sir, should I do it like this? Do. When you do it, they will complain. Sir, can you give me clarity? Or ma'am, can you give me clarity on how to do this? Oh, I will tell you later. Do it like this, do it like this. Go and find a way to do it. Go and find a way to do it. When you come back, they don't guide you. They don't give corrections and feedback. So it's like you do it, all they say is it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. That is a sign of a difficult boss. They take credit for your work. They do not give you any kind of acknowledgement. Oh, I did this with my team. No, it's just them, them, them. They publicly criticize and humiliate you in lunchroom, by the elevator. They're always poking at you during meetings. There's always a slight comment that they're making, you know, that doesn't sit well with you, but you cannot complain, right? Because if you complain, this is your boss. I mean, you don't want anything that would sort of affect your job. So you just sit there and endure. Favoritism that creates toxic competition. You know, they turn the team against each other. They choose people that they prefer and all of those kinds of things. Unrealistic demands without adequate resources. So they tell you go and build XYZ. They don't give you any kind of guide. They don't even tell you how to go about it. And even when you now do it goes back to what we talk about poor communication. They don't even give you feedback to help you reiterate and redo what they say you haven't done properly. Unrealistic demands without adequate resources, lack of empathy or emotional intelligence. Now, there's a distinction between a boss who has high standards and pushes you to grow, right? And there's a boss who gives constructive feedback, even when it's hard to hear. We have to be honest with ourselves when we are working in an office. Everybody will not be like your chummy buddy, right? There are a few people who have offices where everybody's their chummy buddy, everybody's like their best friend, and that's great. But if you don't find yourself in that kind of situation, or you don't have that kind of arrangement, it's also all right. And that's why you're here. I'm here to help you navigate that difficult boss. So if you are experiencing some of the patterns I just spoke about, right, then 5 out of 10. I think how many did I mention? It was about eight. If you're experiencing at least five of it or six, yeah, you have a difficult boss. So now we want to understand, why do bosses become difficult? And I'm saying this because empathy is something we need to practice in the workplace, especially in 2026. A lot of things are happening for different people. So it's important that you understand where people are at, right? Before you just tag them as difficult. Understanding that why does not excuse the behavior of your boss. It doesn't. But it helps us to respond strategically rather than just emotionally, right? So, according to some of the research that I have stumbled across, difficult bosses often emerge from their own insecurities, right? They are threatened by a competent team member. They lack leadership skills. They are not trained because some organizations don't see the value in training people. So they wonder why those that work with their managers have issues. But when they say, okay, can you come and train these your leaders? They don't want to train, right? Like in Isaac Walks Academy now, where we're offering the 1 year training, and we'll talk about there will be also leadership training that would happen, right? Emotional intelligence training. But some organizations will not want to invest in that. But yet, they just want to promote people based on technical skills, how they do on the job. They don't care about how they lead the people within their team. So, all of these are avenues of how a boss can become difficult. Another way to sort of see how these difficult bosses emerge is organizational pressure. If you've never been a manager, you will not understand the pressure it is. A manager, business owners, founders, departmental heads, supervisors, you cannot understand the amount of pressure that they go through. And this is not to excuse their behaviors, right? But I'm just saying they work under tremendous stress, and many of them don't know how to manage it. So if you have a manager who's having stress issues, please send them the screenshot of this flyer so that they can join this course. And you can also pay for them and give to your manager and say, sir, I saw this and I think it will be useful for you. You never know. You'll be saving your entire department. So another thing is personality disorders and traits. They are people that genuinely lack empathy. They don't like to put themselves in other people's position to understand things from their perspective. It's either you do the work or you're making excuses. There's no in between. So that can be a personality disorder, right? Then there are those that are narcissists. It's just who they are. They're never satisfied. They just keep it's just who they are, right? Then there's the cultural and generational differences, right? The age group gap, the way they did things. So if you have like if you're an accountant, for example, and your CFO has been in accounting for like 40 years and he has probably worked in sectors where they didn't use software to do some kinds of things. And you are coming, you say you saw this software that can do XYZ, and he's not ready to shift or she's not ready to shift and bring in that software to make your work easy. And they're just hounding you. You must use Excel, you must use Excel, you must use this, you must use that. And you feel like it's this long route. But this is what this person has. This is how they are formed. And it is something that you need to consider while you are saying, oh, this boss might be toxic, or whatever it is that is the tag you are giving your boss. There's also something I'd like to share with us. Proverbs 21, verse 1. It tells us that the king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of God. He turns it wherever he wills. Even when you are dealing with a difficult boss, God is not absent in that situation. I just want to encourage us, because I know some of us were afraid to go to work. When it's morning, your alarm goes off, your heart is beating fast. You're like, oh my, I think it's time for me to apply for another job. I'm tired of this job. And I understand. I really do get it. And that's why I'm here to provide solution to you. Remember that God is sovereign, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to become this passive victim and endure pain, right? You have agency, you have wisdom, and you have options. And that's why I'm here to teach you and to show you how you can navigate as you move through the workforce. Now, I want us to talk about the mindset shifts that needs to happen to change everything. And I'll give you four powerful mindset shifts that's going to help you navigate this situation. Mindset shift number one: you're not defined by your boss's opinions. Yes. You're at work. Yes. They give you feedback. Yes. But that's not a definition of who you are. Now, here's a caveat. If you're a lazy person, if you're a person that's running away from responsibilities, if you're a headache in your team, you know what the problem is, right? These mindset shifts are for those who are doing all the right things and still having issues. When you have a difficult boss, it's easy to start questioning everything about yourself. You start saying, am I good enough? Am I competent? Are you sure I even know what I'm doing? Am I valuable? But remember that your worth is not determined by someone else's perspective of you. There has to be self understanding, self awareness. You need to know who you are. Your worth is not determined by their perception, especially from someone who's operating from a broken place, right, of themselves. Psalm 139, verse 14 reminds us, it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your value was established before you ever walked into that office. So when we work with people at the Isaac Works Academy, we start from the place of identity, because when you don't know who you are, right, you tend to walk like you don't know who you are. So it's important that you know who you are, and then it is from that place that you walk. A difficult boss can make you walk even when you did not think you can walk. But they cannot, don't let them diminish your intrinsic worth. Remember, keep that place sacred, because that's a part of you. Once that boss can break that sacred part of you, it's over. And there's a thing called workplace trauma. People are traumatized by their boss. That's also a course we offer at the Isaac Works Academy. So please join in so that you don't miss all of these juicy courses that will take you from 10 to 1000. The next mindset shift is, this is a season and it is not a final sentence. No job is permanent. I like to tell you, I've worked in great companies and I thought it was going to last forever. But sadly, it came to an end. So I'll tell you, no job is permanent. No situation is forever. Even if you are not in a position to leave right now, remind yourself that this is just a phase. Remember that Bible scripture that says, for every time there's a season, for everything there's a season, time to harvest, a time to sow, a time to reap, and time to be joyful. So you won't be in this situation forever. But you're here learning. That is you working to improve how you respond to this situation. And that's something valuable that you need to be proud of. That you are putting yourself here to study, to become better, right? The next mindset shift is protect your peace more than your position. I have seen, oh my goodness. The thing about being in human resource, right? People and culture, navigating people is I have seen so many talented people sacrifice their mental health and their relationships, their families, and their joy trying to please a boss that can never be pleased. Take a deep breath with me. In, hold it, out. Here is a permission that you need to hear. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to prioritize your well being. It's okay to do your job well without doing it at the expense of your health. And I say this for all of my Isaac Works Academy members in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, New York, yeah, and all the high Toronto, all the high buzz cities, all the countries, London, all of us, right? All of us, we know ourselves. It is okay. I'm going to say it slowly. It is okay to set boundaries. It is okay to prioritize your well being. It is okay to do your job well without doing it at the expense of your health. I like to tell us a story, and I keep saying this story everywhere I go because it changed me. I was working in one organization, big corporate organization, and someone died. And I think the person was in, I don't remember the department, but the person died. And the announcing call that calls the entire building came on, and they're like, "Oh, XYZ has died," and they regret to just tell the entire team that this person has died, and they were going to have like a 1 minute silence. And for some strange reason, I was looking at the clock on my desktop, and the clock started. It didn't get up to 1 minute. The woman on the call said, "May the souls of the departed be something something," and that was it. The next thing I saw, the role was advertised. It didn't get up to 1 minute. I was looking at the clock. It was just like maybe 15 seconds, and that was it. It was done. Please do not sacrifice your at the expense of your health for any job. Sometimes choosing peace means choosing not to engage in every battle, every feedback. Peace is also available even in difficult situations, but you have to choose it. Don't respond. You mustn't respond to everything. You mustn't defend everything. Sometimes it just means saying no when your boss gives you unreasonable demands and you know you can't meet it. That's why you need to deal with your traumas so that you don't go there to go and start people pleasing and jumping and trying to do everything, and then you break out and then you say, "Oh, who is the," and all of those things, right? Sometimes you need to be alive to work. The next mindset shift I want to talk about is gaining transferable wisdom. Every difficult boss is teaching you something. Take it from me. I've had a lot of difficult bosses. Usually, not what they teach you, you tend to see, you tend to get the clearer picture of that lesson when you now become in leadership. That's when you now see the full picture. But remember that that difficult boss is building resilience in you, sharpening your emotional intelligence, and improving your problem solving skills. Because I'm sure some of you clicked on this video because you saw a problem and you wanted to solve it, and then you're here. Remember that you are important and you are not surviving this situation. You are being equipped for your next level. So, as terrible as it may be right now, while we're working on an exit strategy or a management of this difficult boss strategy, please maintain your boundaries. The skills you're developing right now, that's the patience, strategic communication, so that you're not ruffling boss's your boss's feathers. Um, um, the emotional regulation you are learning, emotional control, self leadership, agency, all of the self advocacy, all the things you're learning. These are leadership competencies that will serve you for the rest of your career. So, what are the practical strategies that you can implement immediately if you're dealing with a difficult boss? Number one strategy is document everything. Every assignment they give you, document it. Every task you complete, document it. Emails, communication, keep it. Criticism, praises, keep all of it. Changing in expectations, goals. Please go and watch from the first videos. You see all the things I told us to document. When you are documenting, always document with dates. If you are very detailed, document with time. Very, very, very important. change change the expectations and the goalpost. When every time they change, they say, oh, you do it like this, we'll promote you, they change it. Document all of those things. Again, if you don't know how to document, join the academy, we'll teach you how to do all of these things. This isn't about building a case. Don't think it like, oh, why are you just being, you're not apprehensive, you're not being paranoid. You are just building a case so that in case something worse happens, you have proof. It's just a safety measure because it's not everybody that is kind, right? You know, when we're talking about the types of bosses, yeah, like the things that can, their emotions, there's some of them are erratic. So you want to also protect yourself as much as you are a good person. You don't want to ruffle any feathers, but you also have to protect yourself, right? Having clarity when your boss says that something should be done, please use dates, descriptions, outcomes. Keep it factual. Don't be emotional in your writing. What did I say? Don't be emotional in your writing. Two, the second strategy is manage up strategically. Managing up means understanding your boss's priorities, communication style, their pressure points, their stress levels, their demeanor. Understand adjusting how, so that you can adjust your approach to them. Ask yourself questions like, how does my boss prefer to receive information? This is why in Isaac Works, we also teach you how to know your boss. Because some of us we work with people we don't know. And I ask myself, how do you work with someone and you don't try to want to know them? You need to know who you're working with. Are they an email person, in-person person? Are they a brief, someone that likes brief updates, or they like detailed reports with several articles attached? Understand your boss. What are they mean you what are you being measured on? Right? It's always ask yourself, what is valuable to my boss? How do they see me? How do they measure competencies? Right? Understand that. What are their triggers? Study them. If somebody comes and they get upset, understand what's happening. Don't just be in an office and bury your head. You know, like the elephant that sorry, not even bury your head, put your head in the cloud as though you don't see anything. No. You need to understand these things are very important, right? Because when you understand them, you know how the Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath. So if you know your boss's trigger points, you won't go and be doing what you know that your boss will not like. Do you get what I'm saying? So strategic communication is very, very important. You now know how to use words, how to walk away, how to give a soft answer. You can now practice, right? Then three, set clear boundaries. There are people that struggle with boundaries, but you need to learn it. And what does these boundaries include? Working hours. Don't respond to emergency things. Ah, just check your mail till you went to go and check. Communication method. How do they like communicating? Do scope of responsibilities. Are they giving you responsibilities that you know you can never achieve, but because you don't want to say no and you are pleasing your boss, you go and take it? Set clear boundaries, right? Respectful treatment, calmly but firmly addressing disrespectful behavior. Sir, ma'am, the way you spoke to me, I do not like it. There are people that you cannot respond to, Sha. Let me be very frank with you. There's some bosses that they're just in their own world. They are rude, condescending, and they don't want you to call them out. And it's fine. You just find the exit strategy and just keep it moving. But some of them will never change. That's just the gospel truth. Some will never change. So when you want to speak to these kinds of people, you need to keep your expectations clear. Keep it at the forefront. I want to make sure that I'm meeting my expectations. Ask them questions to do my best work, Mr. or Miss or X name or Y name. I need this. Can we agree on this going forward? Clear, definitive statements. I'll repeat them again. How can you professionally set a boundary? You can start by saying, I want to make sure that I'm meeting your expectations. To do my work, I will need this. I will need maybe more information on this, where I can find this, who to speak to in case I get turned down, and this. Can we agree on that going forward? Next strategy is build alliances outside of your boss. Woo, this is so good. Relational intelligence. This is something we also teach at um, Isaac the Isaac Walks Academy. Very, very important. Building alliances outside of your boss. Building alliances outside your boss. Don't make your boss your only professional relationship within that organization. Don't you do that. Find colleagues at their levels, leaders in other departments, or in other this is why you should attend work events, corporate not just work events, but attend your so if you're an engineer, attend engineering events so that you can build your network, right? HR's build relationship with your HR. Don't worry, we'll talk about how to handle it. All of you think your HR is me. Don't worry, I'm coming for you. I'll give you more insights. Right? Mentors outside your organizations. Have mentors, people you can speak to. These are all very important things that you need to put in place. Okay. Now, um, these relationships, why are they valuable? It gives you perspective. So if you have a problem, you can take it to the colleagues or the leaders in other departments, and they can give you advice, quality advice on how to turn the situation around, for your good, right? Next is focus on what you can control. And this is so important because don't be fixated on changing the mind of your boss. Think about it. What is it you can do? What can you control? You cannot control your boss's behavior, their mood, their decisions, but what can you control? You can control the quality of the work you do. You can control your attitude and responses, your professional development. You can job search if needed, and you can self care, right? Stop spending energy on what you can't change. Pour energy into you that you can change and improve. I didn't say go and become a tyrant and say it's a change. No. When the boss, the difficult boss, hits you with the difficulty, what are the self-care practices that will pull you out of that situation? You see why I said at some point it might be that you will need to leave that job because toxicity is not something you stay in and wish that all will be well. It's just like staying in smoke and saying, the smoke, I won't smell of smoke. I'll just sit in smoke, but I won't smell of smoke. It's not possible. You must reek of where you sit. So develop an exit strategy. If you've already done all of these things, or you are like, look, I don't have time for all these things, I need to leave, have a plan. That gives you psychological freedom, it removes the mental load. Update your resume, your LinkedIn profile, active professional network. Give yourself, start saving for your emergency fund. Yes, in the Isaac Works Academy, we also talk about finances. For your financial runway, have some financial runway, um, which should be at least 3 months of your salary. You should have it saved somewhere. At least 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Clear criteria for when you leave. You need to write it out. If he or she does this, I'd leave. Important to state it down. Just knowing that you have these options, right? It removes that mental load, right? And make sure, and it gives you the power that look, you're in control of the situation. And then finally, seek support. What kind of support? From a trusted friend, which is why when you're in our community, you can share on the group, hey, I'm having this difficulty, I'm having this, and people will chime in, give you advice. Hey, this was how I navigated it. Oh, this was what I did. Oh, this is what I did. Oh, this is what I did. Do you see what I mean? Um, you can seek a therapist or a counselor, a career coach. You also have access to me when you join the Isaac Works Academy. You can always reach out to me and we can talk about the matters and prefer a solution. Find your faith community, people within your church or where you worship. professional networks, because two are better than one. Isolation will just make everything worse, or community would make you have that sense of belonging and make you stronger. When to stay and when to go. I tag this as when to stay versus when to go. This is the question everybody should answer. Should I stay? Should I go? So, how I want to tell you signs now. Here are some of the signs that can help you stay for now. Remember, I told you you can't stay in smoke and not expect to smell of smoke. So, what do you ask yourself? You are learning valuable skills. The compensation supports your important financial goals. You have a clear exit strategy. You have clear exit strategy. The difficulty is situational and is not systemic. Maybe they're dealing with some personal crisis, and that's why they're being mean to you. And once that crisis is done, they are back to their chummy self. You are building the necessary professional credential. You do not have any work experience. You need this 1 year to be able to move to your next role. You have the emotional and mental capacity to endure. This part is very heavy. If you do not have that capacity, then you should start planning your exit. When should you plan your exit? When your physical health, your mental health is deteriorating. What did I say? When your physical and mental health is deteriorating, you should plan your exit strategy. When the behavior crosses into abuse and harassment, plan your exit strategy. You have tried everything and nothing is changing. Plan your exit strategy. The company culture enables this person's behavior. Plan your exit strategy. You are becoming someone you do not recognize. Plan your exit strategy. Better opportunities are available. Plan your exit strategy. Then, what are the signs that you need to leave immediately? One, you are experiencing discrimination or illegal treatment. Two, your safety is at risk. This person continues to put you in the line of fire every time. Leave immediately. You are being asked to do something unethical and illegal. Leave immediately. The situation is affecting your family, your health, your key relationships. Leave immediately. You are having thoughts of self-harm. Leave immediately. Please hear me. No job is worth your health, your integrity, or your life. If you are in an immediately harmful situation, please reach out to your HR, seek legal counsel, contact appropriate authorities within your organization. Your well-being matters more than any paycheck. They say a word is enough for the wise. How do you maintain your integrity when you're in that kind of position? When you're dealing with difficult bosses, there's a temptation that you want to start gossiping and complaining. You want to become passive aggressive. That's why you have to be careful who you share these things with. You go and tell your friends, they say, give them back. Give them, show them. Does he know who you are? Does she know who you are? You now become aggressive. You now become like them. You do the bare minimum just to spite them. You start to become them. You compare your you compromise all of your values because you want to survive. Don't do it. Don't let that difficult boss turn you into a difficult employee, because when they now go and report you to HR, you see the issues. They made you like that, but when they go to HR, you are the one at fault because HR is not in the middle in that office seeing what's going on. HR is not a spirit, it's not everywhere. Do you see what I'm saying? Your standard of excellence isn't determined by who is watching you or who is appreciating you. So maintaining that integrity because of who you are is very important, not because of that boss. So do excellent work, not because of your boss, but for yourself and for God. Speak truthfully, even when it's uncomfortable, and then don't, whew, this part, because your difficult boss is treating you a type of way, you now take it and you treat others that same way. You treat others with disrespect because you are being disrespected. Learning how to manage that is something we'll teach you at the academy. Even when you are not receiving, keep your word. Even when you're not treated with kindness, treat others with kindness. Keep your word. Why? Because your character is the only thing that belongs entirely to you. A difficult boss can make all of your hard days, can make all of your days hard, I mean to say. But they cannot touch your integrity unless you now take it out and give it to them. It is important that we maintain excellence and integrity even in difficult situations. And I'm not saying, I say this with every ounce of, you know, reverence to say, see, I understand that it's difficult, especially the way the world is. Find another job, all of these things. That's how you need to weigh your choices. Weigh it very well. Don't, because of money, scar yourself in a way that it will take you 2, 3 years to come out of that scar. You are not powerless. You have choices, you have agency, you have wisdom. This difficult boss is just for this season. It is not the final jurisdiction over your life. Use this time to grow, to plan your exit strategy, and protect your peace. Maintain that integrity that you have and trust God that He's going to help you. This is very, very important. And if you are ready to say, okay, Timisa, I want to join you in the 365 days transformation, career transformation, please take a screenshot of the flyer on the screen. We are starting February 1st. The fee is 60,000 naira a month, 60,000 $60, £60. It's just £60, just $60, €60, 60,000 naira. So please send us a DM. We have all the accounts. Any account you need, send us DM. We'll send it to you. You can make the transfer. Please, please, you are very, very important. Do not sacrifice your peace for money. Workplace trauma is a real thing. I wish us all a good day. I hope this video has been good, and I thank you for listening with me up until this time. Thank you so, so much for joining me. It's my pleasure. Please, please send this, share this flyer with as many people as possible. You can also pay for your friends, for your family members. If you also have someone who's just starting out their career, for example, if you're in Nigeria, you have someone fresh out of university or they're about to graduate from university and you want them to start preparing for the workplace, please feel free to share, um, pay for them to join. Feel free to also, pay for them. If you have an organization and you want them to join, we also have that available as well. So please, training is not a wasted investment. Whatever you spend in training, you will see it as a fruit in your life. Thank you so much again for being with me. It's been a delight having this session with you. I look forward to seeing and having you in the cohorts. Have a wonderful, wonderful time and have a